Good morning. So this video is gonna be a video dedicated to my daughter, just so that I can kind of try to change some things or right some wrongs. As a parent, we don't get handbooks and instructions on how to raise our children and what to say to them and how to care for them. But anyways, we'll start. I'm gonna give the topic. The topic is why some women, attract unavailable men. Big topic. Okay. So anyways, I can't really speak for 900 million other women. I can only speak for me. So in this, hopefully, she will understand that it's just my own personal perspective. I woke up this morning. This was so heavy on my mind. I guess currently my situation has made me ask this question again, which I thought we had gotten past. So, long story short, I was in a very long-term intermarital relationship with a man. So that ended several years ago, and life was good, and I was plugging along and feeling great until recently. I've been approached by several married men, and I thought, is there a freaking sign on my forehead that says, pick me? So anyways, all right, so I'm going to look at, I've done some researching to figure out what other people are thinking and what they have to say about the matter and this topic. And for me, there's some things that I agree with that people say, and there's some things that maybe not so much, but I think they're all relevant to someone at some point. So I just have to pick the things that I feel like are relevant to me, and then share the things that I don't feel are relevant to me, but it might be helpful for someone else. So maybe my daughter can help prevent her. And as far as I know, she's never ever been involved in a relationship with someone who's married or has a significant other. So I'm making this video for preventative maintenance. So the big picture is that I think there's a common misconception that married men prey on weak women or women with low self-esteem. I've always heard that, and many of my friends that try to help me, they're like, oh, well, maybe it's just like some self-esteem issues that you haven't addressed. And even my dad told me that. So, but I am in the back of my mind, I'm going, I'm probably the strongest female that I know. But we all have some kind of self-esteem issues that we struggle with. But in terms of choosing my relationships, the self-esteem issues that I struggle with have, to my knowledge, they don't really they don't cross that path. However, there are some things that will cross over into that area, but I'll get to that. So let's talk about the big picture. Then I will focus it in. So the big picture is that men who are in relationships or marriages actually seek strong, independent women who seem to not need men. Women who will not tie them up. Women who are not available themselves. Women who can have a sexual relationship, cut it off, not be emotionally attached to that relationship, and say, you know what, if it works, it works, it doesn't, it doesn't. So I've learned that married men either know or may not know that they are out there in search of a woman who can hold her own and can make those difficult decisions that, hey, you know what, if this doesn't work, I can move on. I'm not getting ready to be a needy female for you. And they like that, and it's beneficial for them because they cannot have a relationship with someone else, because at home they have the woman that is tying up a lot of their time and that is emotionally um, vulnerable and needs them a lot more. So if they go out and they find the same type of woman, then they've got a mess. They've got a hornet's nest. So it's easier for them to go out and find that boss lady who can that is going to say, hey, you know what, just call me on Friday. I don't need to talk to you on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And so that it kind of ends up being the perfect storm for bad situations, is what I'm thinking. I could be totally wrong. This may not work for everybody. This is not the answer for why everybody does it. But I think that it kind of shines some light on why it happens to some people. There's a beautiful hummingbird outside of my window. Oh, how wonderful is that? But anyways, um, so, um, okay, so that's the big picture. The big picture is that those misconceptions are out there, that married men are looking for the the woman that can't get another man, the woman that doesn't really take care of herself, the woman that is really needy. I don't think that they want needy women. I think that's why they pick boss ladies. And now the problem is, why is a boss lady so willing to conform to this type of arrangement? So that's where it goes into the introspective part of it. So there are four reasons. I'm gonna turn this down just a little bit because I'm competing with the jazz. Sounds beautiful, but it's a little overpowering. So there are four reasons that I identified that kind of match up with where I am and how I get involved or ended up in this situation. So the first one would be, which I got from studying this topic under Ayanla Vincent. So she says that a lot of it is from having absent male figure in your life as a woman. Okay, I can agree with that. We'll come back to it. Absent male figure in your life. The other is fear of great extreme loss or hurt. So you distance yourself from someone who can fully commit because you don't want to fully commit, because the full investment could end up being a full loss. If you invest everything, you can lose everything. I agree with that one. And I don't know the gentleman that I got that from, but it's something that I was listening to on YouTube. Then there is boundary setting, which is where we go with the type of women who don't set boundaries. Can be either no self-esteem, or they or I'll come back to the boundary setting type, the lack of boundary setting. It's because I know exactly, for me, that does match up, that lines up. And it's not because of low self-esteem per se. Has a little bit of a tie with low self-esteem, but it's not per se low self-esteem. And then there's the low self-esteem, the one who feels like, oh, I can't get better, I can't do better, I'd rather have a part of a man than a full man. That has nothing to do with me. I'm probably not going to touch that as much, because I think that is self-explanatory. When a woman feels like they cannot do better, that's what they do, is accept what they can get. So let's go back to absent father or absent male figure. So my very first experience with having a father was my brother's father, and he was completely 100% unavailable. he was not at all a good representation or role model or image of a father. So I just learned that it was normal for men to not be available or not be there. And then my mom married my youngest brother's father, who was a great for me. He was great. For her, not so much, but for me, he was great. He was always there as a father, and so during that point of my life when I really like from 0 to 4, or from 1 to 4 or whatever, I liked having him around. He was always there, was kind of like the security and the protector, and then they divorced. And it was very painful. I think it was more painful for my mom, who transferred that pain and energy to me as a little kid. And I took her loss and her pain and owned it as my own. So now I'm in pain, and I don't understand how we lost our security. And then after following that, there were periods of rape. So we'll come to that because this is where the boundary problem comes in. So lack of male figure, fear of loss, because now I have experienced my very first loss, and following my very first loss was lack of security and inappropriate sexual relationships. So boundaries. As a 5-year-old, I was placed in a position where a 17-year-old male disrespected my boundaries. My boundaries were, no, don't touch me. And he did it anyway. And so from there, I learned I set a boundary and a man disrespected it. So I thought the answer to that is never put yourself alone with a man. And if my father, who is my brother's father, was here in my life, he would have protected me from you. But I don't have that protection. So, oh my God, this thing gets all complicated. So then from there, kind of life went on this path of my mom teaching me that you have to be a strong woman and you can't need a man, because when they leave you, then this is what happened. Because we were very poor after my brother's father left. We were in poverty. We lived in the projects and life was horrible. But nonetheless, it was because he left us, was the story that my mom told. And that if you as a woman cannot take care of yourself, you'll find yourself in the same position. So this is where I balanced strength, and I told myself over and over, I could hear her tell me, you cannot depend on a man, because men are not gonna, when they decide to walk, they'll walk. Okay, so sure, I understand, and I don't ever want to be in this situation, because this right here is some BS, and I won't find myself like this when I'm older. So, following that, teaching and training and lack of man and loss of love, great serious loss of love, and disrespected boundaries, one could assume that I would kind of have some low self-esteem, which I did, because I was always taught that men want virgins and they don't. If you've been tampered with, they don't want you. That was kind of another thing that my mom taught, that men want the virgins. You don't give away your cookies. And I was thinking to myself, I didn't give it away. Somebody took it. And so if you were tampered with, chances are you were going to have a more difficult time finding a husband, because men want the sacred woman. So that stayed in the back of my head for a long time. So I was no longer sacred and untouched. My boundaries were disrespected. I suffered a great loss and great pain with love. And I had an absent male figure. Perfect storm. So life went on, and I taught myself you have to fend for yourself. I was the tough one in my family. I fought for all my siblings. I fought for people who couldn't fight for themselves, because I had experienced myself that people will do things to you when you don't have someone there to fight for you. So anyways, I then learned that this absent man, who was my father, was not my father, and that my real father had no idea that I existed. That's beautiful. And then my mom refused to help me find him. So I lived in a world where I always wanted to know what made me different, why I didn't look like my siblings, and how maybe this is why this man didn't love me and never wanted to be a part of my life, because he knew I wasn't his. So hey, there's lots of things going on there. So it was very complicated. So by this time, I'm maybe 8, 9, 10 years old. Nothing I can do about it but move on with my life and just keep looking like, why is my hair like this? And my siblings' hair is like that. And why is my skin this tone and my siblings' skin is that tone? And why do, just everything. Maybe this is why, this guy, I have to get to know this. I have to find this man who doesn't know that I exist. And what about if I find him and he says, no, you're not mine? Like the whole... Anyways, now I'm moving off the path. But anyway, so here we go. Bringing it back in. Reel it back in. So at this point, I'm a teenager and I'm nicely built, pretty. I'm a pretty girl. And I come across young men who, again, the boundaries. My mom had this big thing about being fast. You can't do this and don't do that, and don't wear this and don't wear that. And I, for the most part, I tried to fit into her box about what is not being fast. And I put myself out there. But this one particular time, I wanted to spend the night so bad at my friend's house. And she has like 6 brothers. And my mom never ever let me go spend the night over there because she has 6 brothers. And then all of a sudden she was just like, okay, you can spend the night over there, but you better come home first thing in the morning. I spend the night over there. Everything is great. Nobody is home but me and her. And then I'm going down the stairs because I've got to go home. She's still asleep, and I'm like, well, I'll come back over later, but I have to go home because my mom said I have to come home first thing in the morning. I'm going down the stairs. I've got my little overnight bag with me, and I'm going through this little passageway. There's a wall on my left side and a bathroom door on my right side. Out of the bathroom door is her oldest brother. He grabs me and pushes me in the bathroom, and I'm saying no. He's telling me to be quiet, and for some freaking reason I be quiet. I didn't speak, and then he raped me. So boundaries again. So at this point I'm learning that you can set boundaries, but men don't follow your boundaries. So in order to preserve my idea that I'm not weak and I'm not a pushover, I quit setting boundaries, because boundaries are only as good as the people you ask to respect the boundaries. So then we get into this whole boundary thing. So now as an adult, men need boundaries, and otherwise they won't choose you. They choose women who have strong boundaries. So if a guy is wanting to be in a relationship and he realizes that you have laid back values, values, then he realizes that, oh, I don't have to be as committed to this. She's laid back. She's chill. She's not, she may say, um, I have to be here by 8, but if I'm here by 8:15, 8:20, she's okay with it. Then if you let them do it, come in at 8:15, then they'll come in at 10:15, and then they'll come in at 12:15. So then you got this whole thing. So now they realize, okay, so no matter what, she's going to be there. I'm going to go do this other thing too. And then I'm going to come back and she'll be okay. So anyway, so that's the whole thing of boundaries. But anyway, let's move back to the other part of the story. So when I finally, in my late teens, got to meet my real father, biological father, I came into his life at a time when he had already had a girlfriend, a long-term girlfriend who had a daughter. So they have this like family thing going on. And I think his wife wasn't as receptive to me because I was a teenager, and who am I coming into their life and their world, and I've got all these things, whatever new that I'm bringing into it. So there was some friction, kind of like a friction-ish situation there, and my dad's not really a fighter. He's kind of more of a pleaser. I got to keep both of them happy, and she's not happy, I got to figure out how to make them both happy, and even if it doesn't mean happy together, it may mean happy separately. So I learned that if you want to be in his life, you have to just relax and play your part, because he's probably going to choose her over you because she was there first. And so in my efforts to conform, to make sure that I could remain a part of his life, I played my part down, and I just did what I needed to do to stay in relationship with him. So that's how I learned that men can walk out when they want to. If you put everything into a relationship, you could really get hurt. And you can find yourself in a bad situation if you can't hold your own. And that sometimes in order to be in a relationship with someone that you feel like you need to be in a relationship with, you have to just chill. Because as long as you're chill and you're cool and you're like the best friend type person, they're going to be there forever. And that's a sad thing to say, because I have so many male friends that won't leave for nothing. They are true to me down for the cause. I can call them at any hour on any day and ask them for anything. Some of these are married. Some of them have girlfriends, but they're willing to do it for me because I'm the cool, chill, always there for you, laid back, no drama, self-sufficient person. And many of them I've never been intimate with. Most of them I've never been intimate with, but that's what men want. They want that female friend. But if you're looking for a husband, that's not the zone that you want to be in. So you have to practice a little differently. You cannot be the one with the laid back personality, the self-sufficient, I don't need you, I can fight for myself kind of person. You have to approach it from a different standpoint. And you have to be zero tolerant of BS. If you have somebody else, no. Absolutely not. It's not going to work. If you cannot follow the rules, if you cannot respect my boundaries, absolutely not. Do I need you? No, not really, but I do want your help, and I do want your companionship, and I do want all those things, but not at the expense of being your friend, being friend zoned. So, anyways, this kind of got all blurry and murky and muddy, but the message is, how do women seem to attract unavailable men? It's because they too, a lot of times, have placed themselves in an unavailable place. I have made myself, excuse me, unavailable for opportunities to be hurt. I'm not willing to invest much. I'm not very tolerant of much, other than if you have the capacity to see me when I want to see you, do the things that I want to do when I want to do them, then we can talk and make things happen. But what kind of guy can see you only on certain days that you want to see them, who is more than willing to take you on trips away from where you live and do things afar and abroad and give you money, which is, I found out, like hush money, keeps you quiet. So these kind of guys are guys who are not available themselves, not always married, because I just got rid of one who is not married at all, but this is his MO because he's not available, and he's probably not available for fear of hurt too. But whatever his issues are, I can't try to figure it out because I have enough of my own that I have to figure out. But he too is unavailable, and that's what he likes to do: take me on trips and do fun things and spend money, and then boop, he's back at work, and we're back on the we'll see each other when we get an opportunity. And so I just got rid of him, and that was like last year. I'm coming, I'm evolving, and doing all these case studies. I think that I am in a place now where I do realize that things have to change, and I have to decide, do I want to be available for a relationship, or do I want to keep being in control of not being heard, in control of how I want a relationship to, the directions in which a relationship goes, and which you really never have control of anything, because even in those relationships you find yourself over time becoming emotionally involved, and then you have to cut them off because you're like, wait, this is supposed to be non-emotional, non-drama, and I'm getting emotional, you're getting emotional, and you don't have the right to be emotional. You can't even afford to be emotional if it's a married person. So it gets really crazy. So now that I am aware, and now that the newest guy that has approached me is married, and it doesn't matter what kind of married they are, because some are married but separated, some are married and married, some are married and in the process of a divorce. Until they are not married, they're married. So unavailable is unavailable. So like the other one who's married to his job and married to raising his kids and married to all this other stuff, if they're married, they're married to raising taking care of their parents. If he's not available to be in a relationship outside of the relationships that he has, he's married to something. It may not be another woman, but it's something that he's married to, which means that he's unavailable. And if you find yourself constantly in positions where you're seeing people who are not available, it's probably something going on with you that you are not available. And you have to find out why you're not available to show up and fully commit. It's not always everybody else's fault, and it's not always low self-esteem. So low self-esteem is always a part of the underlying, is the soil in which the seed was planted, but it's not necessarily the seed itself. The seed itself is a conglomerate of other things that build over time. So, all right, anyways, hopefully that was helpful, and that's what I have. And like I said, I'm not solving the world's problems. I'm just sharing what my issue is. And if it doesn't work for you, turn it off. If it does help you, I'm happy. And this is not really for anybody but for my daughter, because she's seen a lot growing up, and maybe I taught her that she has to be strong and don't depend on a man, because that was what was taught to me. I was raised by two women who didn't have husbands, and one was my mom and the other one was her mom. So generational curses that were being passed down, and I decided I don't want to pass those down to my daughter. So that's what this video was for. If you were offended, I apologize. If you were helped, I am grateful. I have been helping myself. I'm proud to say that I am where I am today, to be able to identify that I have a problem, or I have had a problem over a long period of time, but it's a fixable problem. And I'm a great person. And broken relationships are broken before anybody ever steps out of them. So to be a person who always thinks that, oh, there are women and there are men out there who prey on married people, I think that there's a place for that comment, but it doesn't fit every situation. So always keep an open mind. And I think that we all need to understand that we all are imperfect, and we all have a backstory. And if you can think of that and try to understand, like, yeah, I'm hurt, and things happen in life, but everybody has something that hurts them. Everybody has a sore place. And if we can learn to see life from someone else's eyes, we will be less judgmental and more in a better position to understand and fix problems. So anyways, there you go. Peace.